Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kristen. Thank you for stopping by my channel. And I especially want to say thank you if you are a recent subscriber. I have had an unexpected uptick and I really appreciate it because I will start off with this coffee chat bookish talk just saying I am the worst at remembering to say like and subscribe. I just forget. 9 times out of 10, I forget. So thank you for doing that, even when I don't ask. And if you haven't yet, like and subscribe. So I have discovered a lot of things, and this is going to be really different than any other video I've done. This is going to be like a coffee chat, and I used to do these on like a fashion channel, and they were actually pretty well received. And I thought to myself, I have all these random, mostly bookish, but also responding to other comments that maybe aren't necessarily bookish. And this is the video I'm going to answer those. So here we go. It's also, on a final note before I get started, a response to Jack at Spreadbook Joy's video about recapturing the joy of reading versus just counting her books, as well as then Shelley Swearingen's video that was responding to that and other videos. And it reminded me of when the community did the evolution of your booktube channel tag, and I think I even did that tag, but I at least watched a lot of other people's, and I did think about how booktube and being part of this community affected me as a reader. And so I did want to respond to some of that. And you know, my overall blanket philosophy is that it's going to be totally different for every person, which is the same beautiful thing as reading, right? We all get to discover exactly what books, what genre, what format, where the location we read, all those things, we get to figure it out. And I love it. It's like our own little bookish mystery. So find the parts of booktube that really resonate with you and then support that. That's what I have to say in general, but I've got a couple more things I'll respond to. So backing up, going with a couple of the questions that people said that are quick to answer. This is Sean the Sheep up here, and I got him for Christmas, so any videos before Christmas didn't have Sean the Sheep, but my boys brought him back in their luggage from Japan when they saved up their money, got all their own travel, booking, everything, and took themselves to Japan just because they wanted to experience that. And I'm very proud of them for doing that and feel like I did something right. The side note is I was a travel agent for 4.5 years, and they did not ask my opinion or help, which was okay. That was okay. So Sean the Sheep, he just kind of lives there for now, but that's kind of who he is. So on the ways that I have discovered that I've evolved over this booktube journey, I really am a person motivated by read-alongs, having that TBR, the to be read pile, seeing it. I love planning it. I love checking things off. I am one of those kind of type A planet personalities. And so I enjoy that. And that is generally more or less what I do. And when I first started out about 3 years ago now, I would even show all my books to the viewers. They would help me narrow down to 12, and then I would read one of those in the month in each category. And I generally am a person that likes to intentionally do a nonfiction each month, do a fiction, usually it's more current, like within the past couple years, to do a classic, so something that's over 50 years old, and I will have a backlist fiction as well, something that is older than the 2 years, and sometimes it's really old because I am a thrifter and go to library sales. I don't actually normally check things out of the library. I don't like the pressure and stress of that, but when the library puts their books on sales, I support them that way. And last year, when I had the 12 in each of those categories, I put the names in mugs and I pulled randomly what I was going to read for the month, which that was fine. That was fine. All these things are evolving. This is my evolution, right? And what I discovered at the end of all that, thinking about all that, is I just want to do a little more morphing into the mood and what I'm drawn to and what's calling to me, but I still like to be planned. So I just kind of plan a month or two in advance. I start pulling books that I think I'm going to have for middle grade March, or that I think I'm going to be reading for miserable May, and I'll just kind of put those on my library card as a potential I may get to it kind of thing. But there's no pressure. Like if I don't get to it, that's fine. But I love doing the TBR videos, and some people watch those and give me comments, and that helps me decide or get excited about it. Or what it really helps me in is the order that I read it. Like if a lot of people say, oh, I love this, then I put it higher in my stack because I want to make sure I get to that, because one, they said it was good, and two, I want to come back and share it with you and let you know what I thought. Another question that I have been asked multiple times on my channel is how I get all the books in that I do read. I do read more and more books each year, and that just, the bottom line is it brings me so much joy, and I love it. I love being in that book, even if it's for like literally 3 pages. I would rather pick up the book and spend those 3 or 4 minutes reading that in that moment than scrolling my phone or doing anything else really. So, I mean, my house is not always the most clean. I keep it so it's not a disaster, and I never watch TV. So think about any time you've like binge watched or watched all these series, or I hear a lot of people doing this, and it's a lot of hours. That's a lot of time. Going out to the malls or coffee breaks or those kind of things, I kind of do those in my work day, but not in my free time so much. I'm an introvert who likes to be home with my books. So I enjoy people, but I really like to be at home and recharge with my books. And so that's pretty much how it rolls. My kids are adults. They are all out of my house and on their own. Praise Jesus. And I talk to them and I support them, but I don't have to do anything for them. I don't have to use my time for that. And certainly when I did, I read a lot less. And so I just wanted to circle back and say, just don't make the goal to read a crazy amount. Make the goal to be that you find a way to prioritize the time to read what's on your heart. And if that's a whole lot, then try to balance. Is that whole lot of books more desirable or bringing more joy than watching TV, or than sitting there and interacting on Facebook, or whatever else it is that you're finding takes your time? Because we all have those little moments of time, and we all get to decide what we're going to do with them. I just have books all over my life and pick one up, and that's how I get it in and do what I do. So this is where I'm at now. I'm just wanting to go create my little TBR kind of potential stack. Every once in a while, I have 3 to 5 books that I love to say, I know I'm not going to get to all these, so help me pick which one, and kind of interact with my viewers that way. And thinking about my future videos, like what do I want to try to produce consistently? And I actually recognize that the overall flavor of people who talk about 10 books at once gets much less views than the individual books. But I'm feeling like for me, I may just need to continue with doing the individual books that I think are maybe being talked about or entering those conversations, or if it's a really underrated backlist book, to try to re-energize and promote it. But overall, I think I am going to stick with mostly doing several and holding them up and just letting people scroll along to the ones they want to watch. And when I look at my analytics on the YouTube studio, that's what people do. You know, they're fast forwarding to the places where I actually hold up the next book, and then watching for a little bit and seeing each book. So, hey, you may be missing some really cool things that I'm saying in the interlude, but probably not. Go to, your time is valuable. Go to the ones that you want to hear about. That is totally the way I think I want to run it, because it works for me. And then I think that is the best thing to work for people watching. Because if I'm doing something that doesn't work for me or doesn't feel natural in me, then that's going to come across and translate and not be very fun to watch. That's what I think. Oh, I did fall down into the trap. You know how like you will even say something now and all of a sudden you'll have a Facebook ad? So I had a Facebook ad the other day for quilts, like over on the side, and there were quilts that had books. And I said, I think I need a book quilt on my bed. And they weren't horribly expensive. And so I was lured in, and then there was one that had cats. And let me run that footage here. I'll go ahead and flip it around and let you see. So I will try to get as much as I can detail into this quilt that I bought off of Facebook ads. But it was just so cute with the books. And then there was cats. So this was the one. Yes, this was the one. So it just, it's got the quilting here, but it's all one piece of material. Like these are not individual pieces of material. It's the print with just the quilt. So I'll see if I can find the link and put it below. I don't actually remember exactly how much it was, but I thought it was worthy, and it goes nicely with my bedroom. I've got the my favorite place in the world right there, the Guadalupe River in Texas, and it goes really nice with the quilt. So there you have it. I mean, everybody needs a random quilt to jump into your cart, right? So sometimes those kind of bookish things happen. Another bookish update that I did want to share is I have been trying to read what I own, but I am a member of Book of the Month, and Book of the Month had the God of the Woods special edition with the pink pages. But to put this in your cart, you had to have something else in your cart. So I went ahead and picked for my Book of the Month then another Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World. I really enjoyed Just for the Summer, and I don't know when I will get to this one, but I will like it when I do, I think. And I really wanted to have the special edition copy, especially because it was free with my membership. And if you want to try Book of the Month and you use somebody's link, you actually get an additional discount. So I will leave that in my description pull down if you want to try that. It's really nice to have a new release that's hardback for the $15.99 or whatever it is. I don't know how much it is overseas or if it's available overseas, but in the US, it's really cool that we do have to worry about being global. I mean, I really appreciate the fact that we're a global community. I keep looking at my notes because I did actually have a general outline of what I wanted to cover. Oh, somebody asked me about my hair. So here's something I want to share about just me that's not really bookish. It's more just YouTube. They have another channel, it's Moments of Sanctuary. I'll leave that link below, but it's not, I was gonna say nothing to do with books, but actually there's a lot of book channel stuff on there too, because I didn't have a book channel. But mostly what I did was fashion unboxings and kind of coffee chat life update kind of things. And what was interesting is I decided, I had been coloring my hair because I had done that for a number of years before I did this one. And so I had colored brown hair back to my, trying to be my natural color. And I decided it was time to grow it out. So I had several videos where I was talking about that process, or would go in and get haircut and, you know, get the adjustments. And those pretty much became some of my very highest watched videos. There's a lot of community around the struggle because hair grows about 6 inches a year. So if you're trying to grow your hair this long, it's like 2 to 3 year process. Okay, so somebody, I'll go back and try to add their name because it was very sweet. took time to mention that they really loved my hair, and that I should give an update on, like, what I did. I mean, the main thing that I do is that I try very intentionally to limit blow drying and curling ironing it. So I do on occasion do that, but overall, probably 3/4 of the time, it just air dries and I brush it. If I need to get rid of the frizzies, I do use the Brio Geo Farewell Frizz. And this is a little pricey, but I have like the Ulta membership points perks or whatever. And I also highly recommend, because I also, y'all, we went through the nose thing. I went through skin cancer and there's a little scar on my nose now. So I am PSA, wear sunscreen on your face every day, no matter who you are. Highly recommend this one. It's super lightweight. It has either unscented cucumber or white tea, SPF 50, goes on, totally transparent, totally the mecca. It's kind of pricey though. This is about $32 for that tube. And so anyway, I accumulate my points and then I get free stuff once the points rack up. And then for my shampoo and conditioner, it's Walmart, y'all. This is another good secret. This has nothing to do with books, but has to do with hair. So this Hask company, it's a little bit farther down on the aisle of all the Walmart shampoos and conditioners, but this one that says keratin, this is great. I think all the Hask products are above average, but this is like $6.50 a bottle. So like $13 for your shampoo and conditioner. And that is a deal, because again, I've been to Sephora and Ulta and whoo, those are pricey, but this other stuff is really, really good, especially for the price. It is good value. So that's just some PSAs on random things. And kind of an update on the hair, which really probably maybe should have gone on the other video channel, but you know what, we're just going with it. We're just crossing over and rolling. And I really just wanted to take this opportunity just to put out some things that were a little bit more chatty or personal, or try to catch up and see if anybody was interested in that. Watch those analytics. Does anybody care? Or is it fun? I kind of like watching them on other people though. And that's one of the main gauges that I use for baking my videos. It's like, do I ever watch any videos like that? Do I ever care about people's hair or fashion or makeup? I mean, yes, I do. So there you have it. I really feel like this is our family. This is our community. I would love for you, if you're still with me, drop a comment telling me, like, introducing yourself, like where you're from, what kind of genre or style of book that you love to read, maybe one thing that you actually enjoyed or connected with my channel, whatever it was. It is fascinating, y'all. The highest video ever on my channel was when I finished Kristen Hanna's The Women, and I was so disappointed. Upset is a strong word, but I was upset that I had such high expectations and wanted so much deeper level out of that book, and I just took like 3 outline notes of things I wanted to cover, and I basically just kind of impromptu ranted for like 20 minutes, and it's gotten like 9,000 views. I'm just like, really? I mean, 88%, I think, on Goodreads at one point when I looked recently, are positive they love this book. It's gotten so many accolades and awards, but just sometimes you have to disagree with something, and that's okay. And you can disagree back with me. I'm fine with people loving that book. But it's very fascinating. It started me thinking about what is it that I can share, and be part of the discussion, and that is valued and interested in. So on the evolution, circling back, the concluding on the evolution of BookTube, a couple of the questions that I do remember doing, I wanted to kind of retouch on because I think my answers have changed. And one of those talked about the video that you were most excited or proud about. And I will say that I have found myself super excited every time somebody has found my review on the Book of S by J.J. Abrams and Dorst. And I will link that in the comment below. It's a really puzzly, weird, unique, one-of-a-kind book that needed its own review. And when I go back and watch it, I still think I did a pretty good job of explaining something that is really different and unique. And I have learned since that video that the story that you're actually reading, when you pull out the book, it has things tucked inside and hidden inside it. And then there's also stories and notes that go along in the margins, and they're not necessarily even in order. You have to look at the different colored pins to know which one's sooner rather than later, chronologically speaking. So it's just like, it's like this big mind trip kind of thing, and I was there for it. I love that book. So I learned though that the story, if you just read the book itself, is based off the ship of Theseus, who was a king who had this, his warship or whatever, and so they wanted to preserve it, and then they kept taking off the parts that would rot over time because they were trying to hold on to this ship for posterity and museum value kind of thing. Like, we want to honor this, and it kept rotting and deteriorating, and so they would just replace each board, and they would replace each rusted out knob, and they would do this, and all of a sudden they realized over many years everything on the ship had been replaced. And so the philosophical discussion was, is it still the ship of Theseus, or is it something else? And so knowing that now, I want to go back and read the story again because of the things that happen on this ship that was called Theseus. So there you go. If you have any interest in that, check it out. It's not for everybody. It is totally not for everybody. But again, the other question I know I answered then, and I will come back to every time because it remains, is we are family, and this is community, and I can't tell you how happy I am meeting the people that I have on YouTube, whether it has been in person or just here on our channels. I genuinely care about the people here. I genuinely care about the comments that show up. If they're a little cranky or a little mean even, I generally take a deep breath and try to put that in perspective. I've only had to delete a very few handful of comments that were just too much to leave there. But otherwise, it has been all the love for these many years, just putting out and evolving and changing. Thank you for going on that journey with me. For those of you who did, do leave me a comment below on what you're reading, what you're drawn to, where you're at. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for stopping by. Let me know if you want to see any more of these rambling, random, bookish chats. Take care. Happy reading, y'all.